When you watch a UFC fight, what you see is intense, raw, and exciting. Punches flying, kicks landing, and fighters grappling for dominance inside the cage. It feels like pure, unfiltered competition, right? But here's the thing. What you see in the octagon is only half the story. There's a whole world behind the scenes, behind every punch and takedown, that most fans don't get to see. And understanding that side changes everything about how you view the sport. First off, UFC fighters don't just wake up, put on gloves, and fight. There's months, sometimes years, of training, sacrifices, and planning leading up to each fight. Behind every knockout highlight, there are grueling training camps where fighters push their bodies to the limit. They wake up at dawn, run miles, drill techniques, lift weights, and spar with partners, often dealing with injuries and fatigue. Many fighters balance personal lives, family, and sometimes even second jobs just to keep training. So the physical toughness you see is just the tip of the iceberg. But it's not just physical. Mental preparation is huge in MMA. Fighters spend hours working on mindset, visualizing fights, meditating, studying their opponent's habits and weaknesses. The pressure is immense. Every fight could be a career-defining moment or a devastating loss. So when a fighter stays calm under fire or bounces back after a tough round, it's because they've trained their mind just as hard as their body. Another side you don't see is the business and politics behind the UFC. Fighters negotiate contracts, deal with promoters, and sometimes get caught up in the complicated world of sponsorship deals and media obligations. The UFC itself is a massive organization with interests in ratings, pay-per-view sales, and brand image. This sometimes means that what ends up on your screen is carefully managed to create the most exciting, profitable show, not just a pure competition. And there's also the matchmaking aspect. Fighters aren't just randomly paired. Matchmakers consider rankings, fighter styles, marketability, and timing to create fights that will draw crowds and tell compelling stories. Sometimes, a fight that looks like a mismatch is actually part of a bigger plan to build up a future star or settle a storyline. The toll on fighters' bodies also doesn't fully show in the cage. Many deal with injuries from training and previous fights that aren't obvious to the audience. They might be fighting through pain or rushing back from recovery, risking long-term damage just to stay relevant in a competitive sport where time isn't on their side. Then there's the dramatic side, trash talk, hype videos, social media feuds that builds up before fights. While it adds entertainment, it's also a marketing tool. Behind the scenes, some fighters don't even personally dislike each other, but play their roles to hype the event. Other times, real rivalries do exist, but the line between performance and genuine emotion can get blurry. Lastly, the fans themselves only see the final moment. The split-second decisions, the subtle adjustments, and the strategies aren't always obvious. A fighter might look aggressive but actually be baiting their opponent, or seem passive while carefully conserving energy for a decisive move. There's a chess match happening inside the cage, but it's happening at lightning speed. So next time you watch a UFC event, remember, the punches and kicks are just part of the story. Behind the scenes, there's sacrifice, strategy, business, and drama all woven together. The UFC you see on TV is an incredible show, but it's also a carefully crafted spectacle built on the hard work and complexity that most fans never get to fully understand. Appreciating this deeper side makes watching the fights even more fascinating.